that trail you took off the boardwalk over there, you just went straight, and there's a road up here that went parallel with the railroad. And that trail beyond it was just like a little narrow, winding, almost like a deer trail. So I thought, I'm gonna, try to do something to draw people further back. And at first it was just a joke for the Audubon Society to stumble across, like a joke nature trail. And it was really, all it was just doll heads in the hollow of the trees. It was really simple, just really, really nothing to it. And then we kept finding more and more stuff, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. And it took a long time. It took about 2.5 years for people really started to get attention. And then after that, the county cut in the trail, and it just kind of exploded from there. I found out later that the county all along was going to figure on putting a boardwalk back there, but they weren't sure where the trail was going to be. And I was told that I made that decision for the county is where to put the trail. It looks like some boy dismantled his sister's doll collection. Think about it. The doll bodies would have had 5 holes in them, so they would have sunk. But the arms and the heads and the legs only had 1 hole, so they would kind of just float up. That's my theory of what happened. Yeah, kind of more of a curator now than a creator. The rule is you're supposed to only add what's found in the park. If it looks weathered, there's a doll that showed up here. I don't know if it came out here, but it's weathered. So if it's weathered, I'll put it. But if it looks like it's never seen a day outside, I got to take it out, because if I don't, everybody's going to bring everything back here, and then the county's going to say, well, this is turning into a creep factor. And I try to keep it more whimsical. A lot of people read frightening and creepy into it, and some people read the whimsical part. I try to keep it more whimsical and funny. And at some point, it was a brickworks, and then hey,
how are you?
All right.
I know.
Hey. And all they made here was just your simple brick. One of the things I did out here, I just started leaving Sharpies out here for people to fill out. And you see how that's caught on. And the only thing they made out here were square brick. And this would have been an example of when the kiln, scorched a lot. It was very wasteful. Some brick did not get cooked enough, and some got cooked too much. So this is called a clinker. It's overly cooked. It's an overly cooked brick. Slag is basically brick that got so hot it melted. And then a brick bat is just broken brick. Lumps you see out here, all this lumpy stuff, this used to be a flat floodplain, but because they've dumped brick out here, that's what all these, it looks like a rumpled carpet. Back in the South, they basically continued slavery with a system called convict leasing, which was even crueler than slavery in some ways, because they just go to the jail and basically rent the prisoners and take them to their brickworks and steel mills and all, and basically just work them to death. Slave owners had a vested interest in keeping their healthy slaves because they owned them. You go rent some guy and thing, if he died, they had a doctor in the camp say, well, this guy, he wasn't worked to death, he died of dysentery or something. They'd go down and get another one. But they did not use convict leasing here. The guys who run this, you paid their labor. When I first came out here, I thought they used convict leasing out here. So some of the stuff I originally made was pretty creepy. Because it was like just guys out here getting whipped to death or whatever, so I kind of did it. But when you find out it wasn't, it was kind of like a relief. It's like there's not that pall over this piece of property. It's kind of like a triumph in a way for those guys. And I've got their names, it's kind of grown over. I made like a little monument to them over there. I just did this to keep busy. I'm a self-employed carpenter, and my work was slow, and I was like, go out here and build something and see what becomes of it. And I've really met some really great people, and it's really been a great adventure,